Welcome to the Busy Latter-day Saint, where righteous desires and living come together. Here, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints discuss their challenges and successes in studying the Scriptures. I'm your host, Richard Bernard. The music for this program is by Marvin Goldstein and used with his permission. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I encourage you to leave a comment regarding this episode or the podcast in general. To leave a comment, go to lovethepodcast.com/the letter B as in boy, LDS, or you can click on the link in the show notes. This podcast, as you will soon hear, is different from any podcast in the past. It is also the shortest, but I hope that it's a message that will sink deep into your hearts and cause you to pause and give thought to what I'm about to share. Today is Memorial Day. Originally known as Decoration Day, it originated in the years following the Civil War. It is estimated that between 620,000 and 750,000 soldiers died in that war, along with an undetermined number of civilians. Until the Vietnam War, the Civil War accounted for more military deaths than all wars combined. The practice of honoring those that have fallen in battle started with the Romans and the ancient Greeks. As we do today, they laid flowers on the graves of those fallen and had public festivals. The beginning of the celebration in the United States began in May 1868, when General John A. Logan, the commander-in-chief of the Union Veterans Group, known as the Grand Army of the Republic, issued a decree that May 30th should become a nationwide day of commemoration for those killed in the Civil War. In the 1880s, Decoration Day was changed by federal law to Memorial Day. Later, after World War I, the day was expanded to include those killed in all wars. Though there were many efforts to have Memorial Day become a federal holiday, it wasn't until 1971, during the Vietnam War, that it became a reality. Traditionally, Memorial Day was on the 30th, but was later changed to the last Monday in May. Many veteran groups protested the change of date. They believed that Americans would look at the long weekend as a holiday and celebration of the start of summer, and thus not remembering and honoring those that fell in preserving our Union. Their efforts to change that day back to the 30th continues. On Memorial Day, the flag of the United States is raised briskly to the top of the staff and then solemnly lowered to the half-staff position, where it remains only until noon. Then it is raised to full staff for the remainder of the day. Many Americans continue to observe Memorial Day by visiting cemeteries or memorials, holding family gatherings, and participating in parades. Some people wear a red poppy in remembrance of those fallen in war, a tradition that began with a World War I poem called "In Flanders Fields" by Canadian officer and surgeon John McCrae, who, because of the poem, became a household name in the U.S. at that time. In celebration of Memorial Day, I thought it would be appropriate to read the poem. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard among the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago we lived, felt dawn and saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from the falling hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If we break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. May each of us take the time today to remember those that sacrificed all they had to allow us to continue the freedoms we so often take for granted.